Hi, this video is in response to a question that I got under one of these binder videos recently. Actually, the same person asked me two really great questions, and I'll be making two separate videos since the questions aren't really related, but I think they might help someone looking into this machine, at some point. All right, so the first question was, when do I change the gauge, or the depth gauge, sorry, or the margin adjuster, or if it is I use the same setting for all of my books. Now for me, because I use this mostly at home, I tend to just keep mine on the 4.5 millimeter setting, and I do have some samples here just to show how it is our books kept up, based on different sizes and usage, right? However, there are three different settings on this machine. There's a 2.5 millimeter, 4.5, and 6.5 millimeter setting away from the edge of your paper or cardstock, right? Generally, if it is you have like a small book that is like say 100 pages or less, then you don't need to make much changes or any changes. You can use the smallest amount of allowance available on this machine, and this is based on some research that I did. And if it is you are punching into books like above 100 but less than 200, 4.5 millimeter is a good setting, and then anything over 200, 6.5 millimeter. Now that is based on this home machine. Now, as I said, I have some samples here, and a lot of these are actually over 200 pages and they held up well. But that is the general I guess recommendation for setting your gauge. So I am just going to demonstrate that here. So on this machine, when you push this adjuster all the way in, or this gauge all the way in, you are able to see the 4.5 millimeter writing alone, and that's actually the smallest setting, and that's the 2.5 millimeter setting. So I want to make sure I push my paper all the way back, because that's going to affect if I'm punching it at the correct depth. Then I'm going to pull this out a little bit. Now this is a home machine, so it is a little bit stiff. I don't know how it's going to be on a more professional machine. And when you have it on the second setting, you'll be able to just see the 6.5 millimeter writing on this machine. Again, I'm going to make sure I push this all the way back. And then if I pull this all the way out, where you're able to see a little bit of the white part there, that is actually the 6.5 millimeter setting. Push this all the way back. And just to test it out just a little bit. Now I have my calipers here, and it's zeroed out. I'm not sure if this is the best measuring tool to test this out, but this is what I have. So testing the allowance without squashing that. So I'm getting 2.18. I am pushing it in just a little bit too far. Okay, this is saying 2.56. That's close enough for me, because I'm sure that there's probably something a little bit more accurate to do this with. And this is supposed to be the 4.5 setting, and I'm seeing 4.51. And then this here, a little bit too torn there. Okay, and I'm getting 6.44, so close enough using the best tool that I have on hand. All right, so those are the three settings. Of course, if it is you have enough margin allowance to play with, of course, I think the largest allowance would make it where if it is you're turning your pages, there's less likely a chance where your book or your paper will fall apart. But based on what it is you're punching into, if it is there is writing that you have to account for, then that will also determine how far in you can punch into your project. All right, so just a quick reference. As I said, everything that I have here I used the 4.5 millimeter setting. Sorry about this. All right, and this here has this has just under 200 pages. It's 190 190. So yeah, right, so 190. So, and that's the thickness. And this is an old book. This was used last year, and it has held up pretty well. It actually is not torn at all. All right, so that's just about 200 pages. This here is a little over 270 pages. Again, it has held up pretty well. This hasn't torn at all. Now, with this book, I do have these covers, vinyl covers that I put on there, so that probably did help. But none of the pages in between, none of them, has torn out. So I think that held up well. This is about the same size. And then I have this bigger book here that is 400 and something pages. Just over 430 something pages, and it is well, torn apart. Now, this is used with a younger child, and she can be a little bit rough with her books. So, there is that. But probably if it is, I had, given a little bit more allowance there, it probably could have, fared a little better. Now, this is a sample of a big sketch pad that I have ready for one of my kids that does sketching. And it's new, but this is just to show you that it can be done on a bigger, project. And it's all the way through. All of the paper is punched all the way through, and it's not used as well as yet. So of course it's still in perfect condition, but it can actually work on a large project. So if it's something where it's just for record and you're probably not going to be flipping through it very often, it'll work. And this is another big project, right? But so it's just as big as this, right? If you look at it, it's just as big as this, just shorter pages. But it is used quite a bit because this is a sketch pad of hers, and as you can see, it is falling apart in several places, right? If it is, I was using this for more of a, probably doing it for someone else, I would definitely make sure to, adjust the margin based on what it is I'm doing. But because I use it for my personal use, most times I just leave it on 4.5 millimeter setting. All right, anyway, hopefully this video was helpful. Thank you very much for watching, and I will talk to you in another video. Or this was just another book, another sample sketch pad that is probably about 250 pages. And it held up. This one actually held up pretty good. It's just the covers coming apart. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I will talk to you in another video. Bye.